Welcome, welcome. Here I am at the end of my Monday. Woohoo! I made it. I'm happy. It's Monday. I finished. I got it done. Hurrah! I'm also doubly excited because I actually went to yoga this morning too, which is going to be the subject matter of this is private practice today. But before I get into that, how was your weekend? Did you enjoy it? Did you do something to rest and replenish? Hello, Ms. Beck McMurray, who is celebrating her birthday month. Ha ha ha. Yes, I did say that on the entire interwebs. Something unusual today that I have never ever done before as the owner of a private practice or a business of any sort. I supervised the spraying of the white ants. I've never had to do that before. Didn't even know how it was done. So we had a pest inspector. Well, we had a pest controller here today. We found some white ants. I think they're like termites in the US, probably a little bit different. But anywho, when you live in a national park like I do, you get white ants quite a lot. And when you have a lot of timber in your property, like we do, you're freaking out about the white ants. So we got to do that today. So the gentleman who came and did the extermination was very chatty and wanted to be very technical about all things termite eradication. So I still am none the wiser. Apparently they will be dead within a month. Woohoo! Apparently that means, but what he did tell me, however, is in our garden, there are a lot of wolf spiders. Not looking forward to how they want to make themselves away from the chemicals killing all the white ants. Anywho, that's not what I wanted to talk about today. What I wanted to talk about today was progress. Now, if you've read my post earlier today, you'll understand I had a bit of an epiphany while I was at yoga today. And what had actually happened is I was in a yoga pose, which I have been able to do for quite some time. I forgot that there was a day when I couldn't do it. Apparently, it's quite a strong pose. And there was a lady that's been coming to this class on and off now for five months or so, who was commenting on how strong I was and how she can't wait to be as strong as I am. Now, I laughed. That was my first reaction because I do not think of myself as strong these days at all. In fact, I don't think I have felt strong or fit or healthy the way I used to when I was a high performance athlete type of person for about 5 years. I often go to yoga and enjoy the sense that my body can do things because there are plenty of other days when I feel like my body is letting me down. And it got me thinking about progress because my 5 years or 4 years of practicing yoga has gotten me to the point where somebody wants to have my strength, my yoga strength, particularly my upper body strength. And I didn't want to devalue or depreciate this woman today, so I encouraged her. But it got me thinking about how we look, monitor, measure progress when we're building something like our own business. Now, it's really easy for us to get caught up in progress metrics around engagement on social media, your vanity metrics, or how many likes you've got, or how much open rate you had, or on an email, or how many people bought a thing or came to an event. It's really easy to look at financial metrics. So you measure your progress on how much money you're making, revenue in, revenue out. You can measure your progress on how many clients you're seeing or not seeing, or how many new products you've taken to market or not taken to market. It's just interesting that today I got this sense that we are very good at measuring really big leaps in development. So with some of the clients that we work with at Purple Co, it's really easy to talk about progress when somebody goes from not being able to walk, when somebody has gone from can't stay out of bed for 3 days to not having to go to bed for a month. You know, we're so used to seeing the big and these massive, great big leaps along the way that I think we forget that the cumulative effects of the 1% or the little things that we do along the way actually reap all the progression reward. So I can assure you that in the beginning stages of this business, my revenue grew 30% year on year for a long time. until 2016, when I needed to change the way my business operated, because we got to a ceiling. I just couldn't do that anymore. In fact, I just could not sell any more of me anymore. But since then, the revenue hasn't increased, but the profitability has. So is that progress? Is that just a different way of doing things? I would say that the way I look after my health and my longevity and my sustainability is a remarkable measure of progress, as opposed to how many hours I am chained to my desk or chained to a report or not feeling fulfilled and joyful about the work I'm doing. I would suggest that when I get onto social media, yeah, it does feel a bit hard at the moment because I feel a bit stretched, but what the content that I'm producing, that it is generous, that it is useful, that is helping people. If it's all about, look at me, buy my thing, buy my stuff, buy my thing, buy my stuff, then none of you are going to pay attention. So I want you to take notice of your own progress today. If you haven't been on this private practice journey for very long, then hurrah, thank you for being here. So if you've never had a client come into your practice, your progress is about getting your first client into your practice. If you're running multiple events and you're used to selling out your room, the first time you don't sell out your room doesn't mean that you're not making progress. So I want us to be really clear that we're not setting ourselves up for a sense of failure or a sense of comparisonitis, but we get used to measuring progress around progression. People who do this extremely well in a treatment orientation or a treatment context are Australian exercise physiologists. Just going to put my hand up and go high five all of you. I've worked with quite a few EPs now. Now I'm trying to think of an American version. I think they would be a kinesiologist. Not sure. Permission to re-educate me there. But I've worked with some amazing EPs who are so good at saying, hey, this is where we started and this is where you've come to. This is where we started. This is what you could do at month 1. This is what you could do at month 2. This is now what you can do at month 3. And I want to go back now and look at all of my clients this week and any client that I'm talking to and say, look at the progress you've made. Look at where you started when we started working together and look at what you can do now that you couldn't do before. Because we get lost. We get lost in the minutiae along the way, and it stops us from being able to celebrate. It stops us from being able to be present, and it creates this dynamic where we feel like we are never good enough. So if you have got somebody around you, high five them. Even if it's a little person, high five them, and go find something to affirm someone about their progress in a skill, in a task, in an attitude, or just for being an awesome human being. There we go. Looking forward to connecting with you this week. I am head into a fairly complicated and now very large report, which I am hoping to get finished by the end of this week. And I tell you what, I haven't enjoyed writing a report as much as I've enjoyed writing this one for years. Wonder what happened. I'm going to share that with you later this week too.